President Obama flew to Cape Canaveral, Florida, to take a look at a commercial rocket processing facility and visit the Kennedy Space Center.
I'm not an engineer, but I can tell.
Kind of heat tiles for when the stage re-enters to survive the heat of re-entry.
He then outlined his vision for NASA, one that unlocks our ambitions and expands our frontiers in space, ultimately meeting the challenge of sending humans to Mars.
So this is the next chapter that we can write together here at NASA.
After meeting with the Czechs, President Obama headed back to Washington, D.C. That afternoon, when the president returned, he made a statement about the mining tragedy in West Virginia. President Obama, Secretary Clinton, and Chief of Staff Rahm Emanuel crossed Pennsylvania Avenue to the Blair House, where a series of bilateral meetings were held in the run-up to the Nuclear Security Summit.
But it's such a huge deal, and it has shaken Europe.
The president went to the site of the Nuclear Security Summit, where he held more bilateral meetings with Jordan, Malaysia, Ukraine, Armenia, and China. President Obama then greeted the leaders of 46 nations, the largest summit ever held in Washington, and gathered them all for a working dinner getting started on the important work at hand. The president reconvened this august group.
Good. You know, you've met John?
Yeah, we said that.
It's my privilege to welcome you to Washington and to formally convene this historic summit.
The main focus was on nuclear proliferation and securing nuclear materials. Meanwhile, in the Caribbean, the First Lady and Dr. Biden made a surprise visit to Haiti to see the rebuilding efforts made since a massive earthquake struck Port-au-Prince and the surrounding areas, and to underscore the commitment of the United States to help rebuild the shattered nation. The First Lady went on to Mexico, where she made her first official solo international visit.
This is my first solo international trip. Mexico is really a natural first step for me. I mean, the relationships that our countries have with one another are deep and broad.
The president finished a long day of talking with a news conference ending the Nuclear Security Summit.
This evening I can report that we have seized this opportunity, and because of the steps we've taken as individual nations and as an international community, the American people will be safer and the world will be more secure.
The president squeezed in one last bilateral meeting with the Germans, just to make it a full 10 before leaving for the White House. He held a meeting with the vice president and members of Congress from both parties to talk about Wall Street reform.
I think all of us recognize that we cannot have a circumstance in which a meltdown in the financial sector once again puts the entire economy in peril.
And then he met with this year's winners of the White House News Photographers Association Eyes of History annual contest.
All right, group picture? Yes, sir. All right, let's see if they know how to arrange themselves properly. I do. Do you recommend that we say cheese?
President Obama flew to Cape Canaveral, Florida, to take a look at a commercial rocket processing facility and visit the Kennedy Space Center.
I'm not an engineer, but I can tell.
Kind of heat tiles for when the stage re-enters to survive the heat of re-entry.
He then outlined his vision for NASA, one that unlocks our ambitions and expands our frontiers in space, ultimately meeting the challenge of sending humans to Mars.
So this is the next chapter that we can write together here at NASA.